I learned something today. That's right, I learned something today. I learned that growth is not for everybody. Back in the day, well, not really back in the day, but back when I was in my recovery days, I was in celebrate recovery. One of the steps that I had to follow was letting God take a moral inventory of my heart. And I'll tell you right now, it was not the easiest thing. I had to realize that, I was a broken man. I had to realize I needed to be healed. I had to realize I kept lusting after women. I kept realizing that I really couldn't sit down and be naked with a woman, aka meaning I couldn't be vulnerable, honest, trustworthy, or even respect a woman because I was going through a lot of pain and turmoil. And most importantly, I was conditioned that, you go out here, you sleep around with a bunch of women, but you don't get married and you don't let her know nothing that's going on in your life. So it took me a while to understand is that that kind of way of thinking is very, very toxic to a man. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm going to sit here and say it like this. When it comes to taking a moral and fearless inventory of yourself, fellas, it's not for the weak at heart. It is not for the weak at heart. You shouldn't even be doing this for no doggone female attraction. You shouldn't be doing this for no doggone nofap streak. You should be doing this because you want to get closer to God. God needs to be treated as your father, your best friend, whatever we calling it these days, but he needs to be treated as your father and your best friend. That's it. Because if he's not, that's the reason why you're going to keep struggling over and over and over again. See, you like a hamster, right? Draw a little hamster. And you just struggling and struggling because you're going in the same circle over and over and over and over and over again. You in this little ball. You like Bubble Boy. You in this little ball right now, right? You trying to escape, but you haven't realized. There's the door. And that door leads to what? Salvation. But you haven't opened up that door because you are so used to struggling, leaning upon your own understanding, and you're too prideful. You got a big ego. So what you want to do is you don't want to open the door. Because when you open up the door, you know what's going to happen. People will leave your life. You'll lose friends, family. Your friends and family will automatically become acquaintances or your enemies or your haters. But at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you right now, you got to be willing to take that risk. Because if you're not willing to take that risk, you'll never grow. There's so many people out here right now who have not grown. There's so many people out here right now who are choosing a life of complacency because they want to be afraid of everything. I look at it as this. The scripture talks about walking through the shadow of the valley of death and fearing no evil. So why should I be afraid? Let me tell you something right now, fellas. You got to get back up like Muhammad Ali. Get your crown, put it back on, talk to God, figure out the game plan, and most importantly, stop being afraid to ask for help. Stop sitting down here in this broken mindset. Because you sit down in a broken mindset, I promise you, you will never grow. Take care. God bless.